Hey, it's John. Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to the latest edition of Latter Day Albums. The premise of this series is to talk about Latter Day albums in a band or an artist catalog that don't get enough love or recognition. Today, I'm going to talk about a songwriter who has been giving us great music for the last 50 years as a songwriter for other artists as well as on his own. And he was somebody that I had to live a little bit before I really appreciated his music. And this is a songwriter that I call a walking, living, breathing legend. This is John Hiatt with his 21st album, Mystic Pinball. This was released on September 25, 2012, on New West Records. This was produced by Kevin Shirley. He had also produced his previous album, Dirty Jeans and Mudslide Hymns. This album would hit the top 40 on the Billboard Top 200 charts. I believe it's the only one it has. It also hit number 6 on the Americana charts. While this is his highest charting album, this isn't one of his biggest selling albums because by the time 2012 came around, we were downloading a lot more music and buying a lot less physical products. So this didn't sell like Bring the Family or Slow Turning or Perfectly Good Guitar, for example. However, this is one of my 5 favorite John Hiatt albums, and I own all of his studio albums except for one, and I will pick up All of a Sudden one day. So let me just go into how I discovered John Hiatt's music as I normally do when I have a guest on these shows. I heard John Hiatt first on Rock 107 WEZX FM, Scranton, Pennsylvania, the home of rock and roll, still locally owned and operated. I heard Your Dad Did. I heard Slow Turnin'. I heard Paper Thin back then on Rock 107 when they were playing songs by newer artists, particularly newer songs by established artists as well. I heard Thing Called Love actually when Bonnie Raitt covered it, and I saw the video on MTV. I saw that John Hiatt wrote that, but I like this stuff, but I mean, I just wasn't big into it yet. I wasn't there yet. It would be many years before I would listen to the lyrics and I would really, really appreciate them. And I'll be like, and I would say to my friends of varying ages, I'd say, he's singing about life. And ever since then, when that realization hit me, I've loved John Hiatt's music so much. He's become part of the soundtrack to my life. So I'm going to talk about this album today. I love just about everything about it. One of my favorite albums. I think this is a fantastic album, even if it's one that isn't one of his most popular ones. So let's talk about who played on the album. We have the incomparable John Hiatt on lead vocals, electric and acoustic guitar, organ, and piano. We have Doug Lancio on guitar, mandolin, dobro, and his lead guitars. Guitar lines on here are spectacular. We got Russ Pohl on pedal steel on one track. We have Patrick O'Hearn on bass and fiddle on one track. We have Kenneth Blevins on drums and percussion, Arlen Shearbaum on piano and organ, and Ron Ziobla, on saxophone. So with Kevin Shirley producing this album, you got a much fuller, more of a rock production. Kevin Shirley, you've definitely heard his work. He has produced albums for a lot of great artists and bands that we love, like Iron Maiden, like Journey, like Dream Theater, so many others, but he's produced a lot of their work. And 2 for John Hiatt. So let's get into the songs on here. We're All Right Now, it's a rollicking opener, and does have a kind of a little stop-start rhythm. I call it a mid-tempo stomper because that's exactly what it is. John's vocals on here, still very, very good. We got a cool chorus. Guitar playing is excellent. Guitar playing on here is fantastic. Some great licks throughout. Lot of nice slide playing on here. This is a cool rave up. It opens the album very strong. Bite Marks is wonderful. Very nasty and naughty by John's standards as far as a lyricist, but I'll tell you what, this groove is fantastic. You ever hear a song called My City Was Gone by the Pretenders off that third album, the wonderful album that is Learning to Crawl? It's got that same vibe, but I think this song is even more addictive than that song is. It is wonderful, very infectious, great chorus on here, very loose, wonderful guitar solo again. This definitely got a looser feel throughout the album, and it does rock harder than you'd usually get with John Hiatt. Rocks probably most of these rocks, it's maybe perfectly good guitar, maybe beneath this gruff exterior. Anyway, getting back, fantastic song. It all comes back Sunday or someday. Is very, very catchy, has a great sing-along chorus on here, probably the best chorus on the album. The piano accompaniment below the surface works very, very well. Excellent track. Next track is Wood Chipper. Wood Chipper has a very spooky feel. It feels like something out of the desert. It's an excellent story song. Don't ever trust anyone who addresses you as Skipper. Remember that. John Hiatt teaches lessons with his lyrics. Very, very cool chorus to it. It's very, very eerie. And also, there's nothing wrong with eating Little Debbie snack cookies as well. It's fair, I'll let you know. Wood Chipper is a kick-ass track. My Business is the next track. This is more of a rave up, very bluesy feel on here. Very gritty, cool shuffle. It's very, very good. I just don't know what to say. Is one of a few ballads on here. God, this John Hiatt have a knack for those tearjerker ballads. A lot of his tearjerker ballads, though, is more of, oh, I miss you, I love you, I messed up. This is, he was wronged and now she's coming back to him and he doesn't know how to react and he just doesn't know what to say. Has a lot more of a solemn feel on here. The piano on here really, really adds to the proceedings. Nice lyrically, very, very good. The slide guitar playing on here is wonderful. I Know How to Lose You is in that same vein, only if this time John's saying he's the one who's messed up. And I'm the one who I know how to lose you because I keep screwing it up. This has more acoustic guitars on it, more of a country feel. Nice lyrical solo on here. This song works very, very well. The next track is You're All the Reason I Need, which is like It All Comes Back Someday, as it's very, very catchy, very rocking. It has a Stones meets John Mellencamp feel to it. Like John Mellencamp from like 80 to like 95 or so. Has that kind of vibe. The chorus on here is wonderful, very joyous. One of Them Damn Days, the next track. This is more of a blues feel on here. You got sax on here, but the sax isn't there to provide a solo. It's there playing the rhythms underneath the surface of those guitars, which is very, very cool. Next track is No Wicked Grin. This is the true tearjerker ballad on here. And the guitar on here is so pretty, it plays like a lullaby. Wonderful song. The guitar line, John's vocal, and lyric on here are wonderful. This is a very tender song, and it works very well. Next track is Give It Up. Give It Up is more of Americana feel on it. It's very rollicking. You've got the dobro and the pedal steel on here. Very whimsical, but very, very catchy. You got that nice call and response. In the chorus, very, very good. One of my favorite songs on here. Certainly one of the more immediate tracks. Last track on here is Blues Can't Even Find Me. This is a very cool closer. It's more acoustic and more of the tracks on here. It definitely feels like old school country, like a lot of John Hiatt songs do. It works very well. We got the mandolin and the dobro on here. Very cool vocal melody. Great way to end this fantastic album that I don't believe gets enough love or recognition. John Hiatt's Mystic Pinball. How would I rank this? 10 out of 10. I believe he has at least 6 albums in his wonderful catalog. I believe he has 24 studio albums now. That I would give it 10 out of 10. This is fantastic. Probably in my opinion, his last knockout album that I would give a 10. I mean, if I was to give you my 5 or 6 favorites, it'd be Slow Turning, Bring the Family, Crossing Muddy Waters, Master Disaster, and Walk On and Mystic Pinball. There's 6 for you. But anyway, this is John Hiatt's Mystic Pinball. Let me just give you a few more things here about John Hiatt. I have seen him 5 times. Twice I saw him as a duo with Lyle Lovett. Those shows are wonderful. I think they still go out and tour together and do shows together, sitting next to each other with their acoustic guitars, and they're alternating the songs, and it works very, very well. They have a wonderful rapport. I've seen them 3 other times solo. Never saw him with a band yet. The time I could have seen him with a band at Penn Speak, I went to see someone else that night. Who did you go see? I saw Peter Frampton that night, another one of my favorite songwriters. But my friends told me it was a wonderful show. But the other 3 times, he was solo and acoustic. First time I saw John Hiatt, he was pushing the terms of my Surrender album. However, a lot of people were yelling, requesting him that night. A lot of people love his songs. They were giving him a lot of different choices. Although you did have a few people who were a little tipsy who kept saying perfectly good guitar. And he's like, no, I'm not playing that song tonight. But there was one song that people were asking for. And he's like, you want me to sing that song? So many lyrics in it. But he sang it for us near the end of the night, and that was Wood Chipper. So he did Wood Chipper that night. He did Blues Can't Even Find Me early in this set. And he also did No Wicked Grin that night. That was the only time I heard John play any songs off of Mystic Pinball. So I just wanted to put that out there all for you. So, what do you think of John Hiatt's music? And if you like his music, what do you think of this album? Have you heard this album? What are your favorite songs by John Hiatt? Do you know him more as a songwriter for other artists? Bonnie Raitt made a thing called Love Her Own, and John Hiatt made a lot of money in mailbox money and residuals from that songwriting credit. He co-wrote Angel Eyes, which would later be a number 5 hit for Jeff Healey Band. Have a Little Faith in Me. He wrote that. So many artists have covered that song. As soon as I'm sitting here, he wrote that when he was just getting started his career. Three Dog Night made that a top 20 hit. They still play that song live to Three Dog Night. So let me know in the comments what you think of John Hiatt's work as a singer-songwriter and this album, Mystic Pinball. I can assure you, on this Latter-day Album series, I will be talking about several John Hiatt albums. I'll probably do a ranking the albums one day. So John Hiatt, he's the man. He's one of the best songwriters around, and I'm glad to see he's still out there touring. I'm waiting for a new album. We haven't had one since 2021's Leftover Feelings, so I'd like to hear at least one more kick-ass album from John. So thank you all so much for watching the show today. Do what you love, and I'll talk to you soon.